Hello, so this is part 2 of my product review for this. And so far I don't regret spending my money on it cuz this isn't sponsored or anything else like that, as you can probably tell. But I mean, no one would ever sponsor me anyway, probably because of, and I'm being nice. I'm trying to truly be nice here. Uh so this is me being nice, but it is hard to be nice when you're just not feeling the best. But thankfully I had 3 good days here and I'm having another good day, so I'm doing this. Um so let's just get into this. The reason I bought this was specifically to use it as a, I needed the items in this for tracing and transferring because the art that I'm about to be doing, um because there's other art I'm trying to do other than the stuff on this channel. I needed some tracing mediums. They call paint a medium, they call ink a medium, they call pastels a medium. So I needed some tracing mediums. And that's just a good overall umbrella or catch term for saying the product that you're working with. Um, the structure is what you're painting or drawing on. The medium is what you're using, whether it's chalk, that's a medium. If you're drawing on a sidewalk with, your relatives or your friends or whatever, then the medium you're using is the chalk, and the structure that you're drawing on is the sidewalk or the driveway, if you get the drift there. So first off, just to get into this one I'm really upset about. So it's nice that it has a little carrying handle here. I will say that. So there, I'll lead with a compliment. This carrying handle is very nice. The book itself is really tough and sturdy. This is some good canvas. I like it. It's good. The book itself is very expensive. I love how nice and thick this. Oh, what is it? I can't remember the name of it, but it's this elastic. There we go. I really like how thick this elastic is. It's sewn in well. The book itself is fantastic. But the one problem I have about the book, and this, they advertise this on Walmart all over the place. They advertised it on Amazon. This is supposed to set up like an easel. Now, I don't understand this. There's 2 pieces of Velcro. There's the soft side of the Velcro over here, but there's nothing in this entire set to allow me, the buyer, the customer, or anyone actually, to actually prop this up like the easel that it's supposed to. Because they showed all of these products sitting up like that. You could prop it up and have your pencils properly propped up and displaying themselves so they would be easier to grab. That was the whole point. The whole thing was supposed to be propped up so you could, more easily grab your pencils. It was supposed to be able to sit like that. But despite the Velcro, there is nothing in this product to allow me to prop it up. So they had half a thought there, and maybe like me with my memory problems, they forgot the other half of it. Which I'm not glad about. It's like, are you all suffering from early Alzheimer's too? What's going on here, people? I mean, is there something going on? Because you forgot the other half of the product, you know? And yeah. So there's that. There's that. And then the other half of that is this came with pastel pencils, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the other thing, which I just remembered because it's in front of me and I'm noticing it, they gave this clay shaper in here, which is nice. That's fine. And it has been noticed as of recently that clay shapers supposedly can help you blend oil pastels, not chalk pastels. This is for an oil I have oil pastels. So I'm fine with this. But this little product is entirely worthless for the chalk pastels that come with this whole set. So sorry about the camera bouncing in and out there. So yeah, there's that. There's that. I'm not too happy about that. I this was really a thrown together item, you know, the whole thing. So, and then the other complaint I do have is that, okay, I've never had pastel pencils before. I was really looking forward to pastel pencils. I was really just, you know, giddy, just, oh boy. These were all unsharpened, which I kind of like because it does make me feel like you get more pencil, even though you have to sharpen it yourself. You feel a little less ripped off, which is stupid. It's just stupid. That's just a mind game, a mind trick. But these pastel pencils, okay. I was having trouble with these and the charcoal's breaking. And this one, as you can see, maybe you can see it. I don't know. Here, I'll put it against some sort of a white background. But maybe as you can see here, you know, this one didn't sharpen up too well. And this one, it was breaking at the very beginning of it. It's the medium charcoal. So there was that. And then, as you can see, one of these pastel pencils is missing. One of these pastel pencils was completely broken. The lead, if you will, quote unquote, the lead inside, you know, the wood was completely shattered all the way up. I ended up sharpening it all the way to this point. You know, literally, I sharpened it all the way down to that. And it was still, the lead was completely falling out. You know, the pastel inside the wood was completely falling out. There was no pencil at all. So, yeah. So one of the pastel pencils was completely and entirely broken. Also, I noticed that, you know, and because they're chalk pastels, you know, they're very delicate. And also, these also had sharpening problems. Also, as you can see, this one had breakage problems. This one had breakage problems. This one is the longest one. This black is the longest one. And it had the least breakage problems. But you can tell with how short these others are, you know, how much breakage they had just on their first initial virgin sharpening. So there's that. And I found out that these pastel pencils, they're very, very scratchy. They're very, very dry. They're very, very delicate. You can't apply very much pressure to them at all. They're really catching very hard. And then they don't want to blend, which is strange because I figured that pastel pencils, that's their whole point, is blending. You know, that's why I wanted to get my hands on pastel pencils to begin with, because it's like, oh boy, I'll finally have something that's made for blending. But apparently not so much, you know, which is very, very upsetting to me personally. So yeah, I'm still, if I ever can, I'm still going to get actual pastel pencils. So, and then it came with a nice soft graph. I kind of like that. That's nice. And, oh, it came with this. It came with willow charcoal. Now, this is a praise. This is a good thing. I did try it out. It is like the other willow charcoal that I had to get for, you know, the one art class that I managed to take. And this is nice. This is some really good willow charcoal. It's really tough and good and strong for willow charcoal. I suppose that's why they gave you that charcoal book. But this, and it's just a plain, boring old package. And I labeled it willow charcoal, you know, because I took it out of this set, you know, because I don't use willow charcoal. The willow charcoal is to force you to have a very, very, very light hand and to force you to not press on your paper. And that is a technique that you use in old school hard copy art like this that I'm more than willing to teach you. But that's not for this product review. But I am impressed and very happy that they added this in. I'm really shocked because you never see that at all. So that's a good thing when it comes to this set. You know, how the quality of the book and the willow charcoal, that's really good. The other thing that I like about this set, and I know that this is like a hard, you know, 90-degree turn. It's like, wait, you're hating on it and now you're suddenly praising it. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. But So the other good thing about this book, of supplies is, and I've never seen this before, they actually put, they sewed down and they put a little carrying holding case for for the pencil sharpeners. Now, I will say, I wonder if these, because I was sharpening all these little pencils with these pencil sharpeners, and at some point I gave up and used an electric pencil sharpener with the actual proper rotary wheel that will stop pencils from breaking. And on another video I'll show you about that too. But I don't know. I'm a little worried that these pencil sharpeners were actually causing the pencils to break, you know? And it came, so there's all that. And one of the reasons that I bought this is, and just to let you all know, I like anything 3B or above. 3B, 4B, 5B, 6B, 8B. If you can get 12B, that's fantastic. I like using these pencils because they are so incredibly just soft. They are so soft and so dusty and so wonderful. They give you a very dark line too, but they are perfect for tracing and transferring. It's the B's that I like the most. In fact, I like the B's so much that I'm actually going to take these out of the set here. I think I'll leave the HB because that it's iffy, but I tried an HB. That was another dirt cheap set, kind of like this, and it turned out to be pretty good. So, but yeah, it's mainly anything above 2B is what you want for transferring, tracing and transferring. And the other reason I got this set is also because these little graphite sticks. Isn't that kind of neat? This is absolutely, I love this. And I love this graphite pencil. I really, really like that a lot. And while I'm doing this review, I might as well just start setting it up for my own personal private use. And it came with these charcoals, hard, medium, and soft. So I kind of like that. That's nice. These charcoals, I found out when it came to charcoal pencil and transferring stuff with charcoal pencil, the charcoal I found is rather permanent on whatever you transfer the drawing onto. So I don't personally like charcoal paper. There's actually paper out there that they call charcoal paper that actually has charcoal all over the back of it. They used to use that for typists and secretaries. You would type and transfer. You'd have a carbon copy, as they called it. That's really, really old, from the 70s. So, but yeah, so I found that I don't like that charcoal paper. So I am worried about the charcoal pencils because, I mean, it's charcoal. So how different can it be? I don't know. I will try it, but so far I haven't liked charcoal for transferring because any charcoal lines, you can't erase them. And after you transfer, there's a lot of times where you're going to need to completely erase that transfer line because, you finally inked it or what have you. The other good thing about this set is that it came with one of those plastic erasers, a Mars plastic eraser. Thankfully, it's a knockoff, but it's good. It also came with, a lot of people like kneaded erasers. It came with a kneaded eraser. I'm glad about that. This is a very good thing. It came with sandpaper. This is a little sandpaper block, and it is literally for, and these are called blending stumps, not blending tortillings. These are called blending stumps. And you literally just sand off the dirt, So if you go ahead, and I'll go ahead and just do this real fast on camera for you. The other good thing, and I will mention this right now, the other good thing is that this is a pencil extender. And this is what finally got me to cave and buy this set, is this pencil extender. I needed another pencil extender, and I needed, tracing and transferring mediums. So I went ahead and I got this set, and it's just this. So, and I know that this video is going way, 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 way over, the 10-minute mark, but I hope that that's okay for right now. So yeah, I'm just going to take this. So it's the medium charcoal. And I might just go ahead and try erasing it too, just to try to get my point across when it comes to, you know, and I'll use this one. And I'll do the pastel first. Well, that's nice. I'm glad that the pastel actually blends to some degree. But that's really, really pale. I'm really surprised about that. So here's the charcoal. And charcoal is very, very dark. By the way, if you're doing something in graphite and you need it to be very, very dark, and graphite, if you build it up, and I'll show you here, it gets a shine to it. And it gets almost like silvery and metallic-y, which is very unfortunate if you're wanting, see that nice dark black there? If you need dark, 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 dark black, and you're using graphite, don't use graphite. Switch. And I'm going to go ahead. I haven't used one of these blocks yet, so I'm going to go ahead and try one of these blocks. And I'm going to try the soft charcoal. I haven't tried this yet. But see, look at how much, first off, it's a heck of a lot darker than the graphite. So that right there. I'll try the medium and the hard too. So there, see? Yeah. The hard is, you can, usually if something is hard, such as these HB pencils, you know, H4, H3, H2, H5, you know, HB, these are very, very, very light in color. Very light in color. So there was a watercolorist on YouTube here that said that they like the H pencils better when it comes to, you know, drawing on their paper. So I don't know. To each their own. I've never liked it myself, but, you know, to each their own. So maybe a bunch of the bad stuff that I see about this product, I mean, you'll actually like, you know, like the 1,000,001 sketchbooks. And the fact that this, I mean, this is good for me because I do have oil pastels, but this is not really, I don't know what good this is for. Yeah, this is, there's no point to this for the chalk pastels. But I'll go ahead and I'll really muddy up this. But see, yeah. So if you're having shine problems, that getting on camera? Oh, good, it is. If you're having shine problems, as maybe, hopefully you can see here with the graphite, use charcoal. Charcoal is the best thing to do. Just use charcoal. But as you can see now, give me a second. There, blow that off. As you can see now, my blending tortillon is an absolutely filthy mess. So now what you do is you just take this little, and it has a nice hard, strong, you know, like paint stir stick behind it. And you just, and I found out you really kind of need to wear a mask when you do this because you will get this stuff up your nose. And later on when you're sneezing, you'll have, you know, depending, multiple colors coming out of your nose. Or in this case, you'd have black coming out of your nose. But, and it does take a while. It does take a while. I also found out, personally, that you can take an X-Acto knife to this and cut off and then sand down to give you a nice smooth point. I probably shouldn't be doing this in real time. Kind of wasting y'all's time. But, and obviously, as you're seeing, it takes a while and it creates a lot of dust. It's not even showing the dust on camera, the sheer volume of it. And obviously it takes a while. It takes a while, and let me see. I always got to wipe it off with a Kleenex at least. But there you go. Nice and clean, just like it was just a few minutes ago. And that is what this little, you know, and you don't have to have one of these little sticks. This is just, you know, travel worthy and really nice. You can go to the hardware store and literally get yourself sandpaper, you know, 120 grit or higher, and just get yourself sandpaper, you know, 200 grit, whatever. Some people like it really rough, 300 grit. But yeah, I mean, just, and there you go. and you have a nice clean, and this is why I like blending stumps over blending tortillions. Blending tortillions, it's not that great. So, and yeah, see, now I have dust, and you can't see it on camera, but I got dust everywhere. You can see it better now. But this is why I say wear a mask, because, you know, it's bad enough getting it all over yourself, especially if you don't have like a textile thing, you know. If you don't like pastels, you're not going to like this dusty thing. So give me a second. Okay, I wiped away all the dust. I had to take a few minutes and just do that off camera because, ugh, dirt. I have such problems with dirt. So, okay. And just to get my point across about the charcoal, hopefully the charcoal will erase, but yeah, it's pretty permanent. It leaves that shadow behind, and that's been my problem with charcoal. It leaves a very clear and obvious shadow, and you can't get rid of it. I mean, it's there, it's permanent, doesn't matter what you want. Charcoal's staying, you know? It moved in, it's not leaving, you know? So, yeah, there's so much more teaching I could do. And I think I'll actually do that for the next video. I'm just going to teach a little bit more here. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't expect to do that, but there we go. So this is basically at the 22-minute mark. Yeah, on to the next video.